Welcome to How to Journal for Pleasure. From thinking to feeling. Journaling the Pleasurelit way. And before we begin, let's take a deep breath in through our nose and exhale with a sigh. And one more so we can really lean into it. You might feel your body soften, your shoulders drop, and if you feel like doing it one more time, go for it and really voice it out and lean into that breath. My intention for this episode is to bring you closer to journaling, but not in the sense of thinking and staying stuck in your mind, but rather making it an embodied experience. Yes, because journaling can be so much more than the way that you might have used it so far. To analyze, to solve, to vent, to judge, to improve. Things that kept you stuck in the mind because you were doing it as a practice to rethink things and be really analyzing from your mind. What you can do with Pleasurelit journaling is to move in a different direction, to actually drop into your body. What I mean by Pleasurelit journaling is that it is not just about writing about your life, but it is about letting your body speak and listening to your body. So sensation over story, honesty over perfection, slowness over getting it done, and curiosity over judgment. Because your body already knows what it wants and what it needs and what it is ready for to release. So with Pleasurelit journaling, you can really step into your body and explore with an open, curious, embodied way. Not about like, what should I write, but rather starting to ask, what do I feel? What does my body feel? And when you do journaling the Pleasurelit way, in a pleasure-led way, it becomes really powerful because it can be regulating for your nervous system, which is a portal to pleasure. It can build safety and trust with your body and yourself, which is also a portal to pleasure. It increases your self-trust. It reconnects you with your desires, exploring your own needs. It reconnects you with your body. It softens the numbness and it breaks through blockages and disconnection. It helps you to integrate emotions instead of suppressing them. And it strengthens your ability to receive because pleasure grows where your attention goes, because pleasure is an energy. And when you become more mindful and intentional with your pleasure experiences, you can really amplify them. And journaling is a moment where you can slow down and become really intentional with and mindful with your body and your pleasure. To make journaling pleasure lit, there are a few things that I can go into. First of all, I would probably get a journal that is specifically for your pleasure-lit journey, which I always highly suggest as well for all my clients that I'm working with. And when you just choose that journal, make it a pleasure-lit journal. Make it a journal where you can't wait to actually get into and you want to open the pages. Maybe it looks a certain way. Maybe it smells a certain way. Maybe it feels a certain way that you already activates your pleasure-lit energy. And before you get into journaling, instead of like, this is just another task to get done, set the scene, make it a ritual. And what I mean by setting the scene is make it a space that feels inviting to journal at. Maybe it is in your bedroom, on your bed, or on the floor on a beautiful padded, fluffy blanket, or somewhere where it just feels inviting. Maybe there's some really delicious music in the background. Maybe you've got your favorite diffuser and scent on. Maybe you've made a delicious tea that you're going to have while you journal. Maybe you've got a candle on or some fairy lights. Make it inviting. Also, wear something that makes you feel comfortable or activates a certain energy that you want to embody and play with while you journal. Or wear nothing. Or a silky robe over it. Whatever really feels right to you in that moment. And then drop out of your mind into your body space. And we do this before we start writing by self-touch. Maybe you want to touch yourself slowly. Maybe you can use a feather, toys, tools. Maybe you just want to place a hand on your heart to feel your own heartbeat, your own skin, your own body. Maybe you want to take 3 conscious deep breaths like we did at the start. To really drop into your body. Maybe you want to move your hips to the music that you've already put on. Whatever it is that feels right to you, to actually drop into your body and to start activating and awakening your pleasurelit energy. And then from that state of being, we can start journaling. Journaling will be so different to the experience of, oh, I'm just going to have to sit down and just like answer some questions, compared to actually embodying your pleasurelit energy first and then starting to explore. It will be different. You will be so much more connected and attuned with your body, yeses and nos, and it will have different outcomes to just sitting there and just writing it. And then when we start writing and journaling, write from your sensations. Or if it's not even writing, maybe it is journaling through art or through video or through voice noting or through whatever it is that is your creative way of journaling. I sometimes love voice notes. It's just easier to talk it out, also using my voice and saying it out loud. I love that. Sometimes it's writing. Whatever really feels good and right for you. And when you journal, make it from the pleasurelit state and with sensation. So you could ask yourself, right now my body feels, or the sensation I notice most is, my breath feels, my chest feels, my heart feels. Let it be messy, let it be real, and really tune into your embodied sensational experiences. And then whatever comes out of there, you can close your ritual by, when you close your journal, placing a hand on your heart again, thanking yourself for listening, for tuning to your body, for showing up for it, and just really make it an experience. This is how you can make journaling for pleasure pleasurelit. And because it is currently the end of the year, I want to give you some journal prompts for the end of the year, and also want to give you some journal prompts that I currently use in my weekly journaling. You don't have to journal weekly. You can journal monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever, just occasionally when it comes up, whatever feels right to you. So for journaling, in fact, especially at the end of the year, we start to automatically reflect on the year. It invites us to slow down and without judgment, just let your body speak and just learn to listen. And here are some prompts that you can use. You can pause this recording, write it down, and then really create your pleasurelit scene, drop into your body space before you start answering those questions. 1. This year, my body learned. Moments where I felt most alive were. Where did I override my body's yes or no? What drained my pleasure this year? What nourished my pleasure? What am I grateful for? What am I ready to leave behind? And what am I going to invite more of moving forward? These are just a few questions on how you can start reflecting and journaling from an embodied perspective. Now, if you feel curious and want to start journaling moving forward in 2026 in a way that feels more pleasure lit, so you don't plan harder and more, but rather start to listen deeper, here are my current pleasure-lit journal prompts that I use specifically personally. How do I feel in my body today? And how did the week feel overall? What activated my pleasure-lit energy this week? Where did I notice any blockages, numbness, or old patterns? And how did I alchemize this? What did I do to nourish my body, mind, and soul? Where was I more mindful and intentional this week? How did I connect with others in a meaningful, conscious, or pleasurable way? How did I explore and play this week? Is there anything else that I felt in my body this week? What am I proud of or grateful for this week? And what is calling me forward for the coming week? As you can hear, these are weekly journal prompts because I have been journaling weekly over this year. But as I said, you can adjust it to monthly, occasionally, quarterly, whatever really suits you. And if you are really curious of more journal prompts, my best-selling book, The Pleasurelit Way, actually has a chapter and a part in there where I talk about pleasurelit journaling specifically, but also all other portals to pleasure that I'm talking about in this book have journal prompts in there. So you can really go deeper into journaling, but the pleasurelit way, from a pleasurelit and embodied state of being. Delicious. Give this one a go. Feel the difference between a journaling of just getting it done, writing down, and actually doing it from an embodied pleasure state. Because when you combine the journaling with breath and movement and touch and nervous system safety, everything deepens. You just open even more pleasure through that. And if you desire, if this episode has opened something within you and you desire more, you want to go deeper, you want to journey deeper into pleasurelit and explore what's possible, I invite you to go to pleasurelit.com/links, and there you will find all my current offers. And believe me, Pleasurelit is for everyone. And Pleasurelit will meet you where you're currently at. If you have that inner feeling of there is more to experience, lean into that. Because this is what I help people with. To alchemize and transmute and transform those blockages, numbness, disconnection, people pleasing into pleasurelit, that beautiful, delicious energy that makes you feel alive, connected to your body, open to receive pleasure safely, and feel lit from within. Let's take one final deep breath in together. Through the nose and let's sigh it out. If you find this episode helpful, please give my show a 5-star rating and also share it along so we can spread more pleasure into this world. I'm looking forward to connecting with you at Pleasurelit, sending you lots of love and pleasure. Mwah.